You need to outwork everyone around you if you want to reach the life you dream of. There's no shortcut, no magic formula, just hard work, every single day. But what does it really mean to outwork others? Is it just about hours and effort, or something deeper? How do you push yourself when you feel tired, discouraged, or ready to give up? In this video, we'll dig into why working harder isn't enough unless you surround yourself with people who push you beyond your limits. You'll learn how the company you keep can either lift you up or hold you back. Imagine being around people who expect your absolute best, who challenge you to grow, and never let you settle for less. If you're ready to stop wasting time and start becoming the person you're meant to be, keep watching. This is the truth about why outworking everyone is your only real advantage. Number 1. Commit to working harder than anyone else daily. You want to be the one who wins. You want to be the one who reaches higher, pushes harder, and breaks through every barrier standing in the way. But here's the reality. Nobody ever outworks their way to the top without making a daily commitment. There is no shortcut around hard work. It's not about luck, talent, or waiting for opportunity to knock. It's about deciding every single day to put in more effort than anyone else. To commit fully to working harder than anyone else daily. This commitment is what separates the dreamers from the achievers. When you wake up in the morning, your mind is clear and fresh. That moment is the first chance you have to choose whether you will outwork everyone or settle for less. That decision sets the tone for the entire day. You must be determined to be the hardest worker in the room, the one who never gives up when others tire or slow down. Committing to work harder means showing up even when you don't feel like it. It means pushing past every excuse, every reason your mind tries to convince you to rest or quit. The mind is a tricky thing. It always looks for the easiest path, but success demands that you push beyond what feels comfortable and familiar. It demands discipline. Discipline is choosing the harder right over the easier wrong again and again. When you decide to outwork everyone, you accept that your journey won't be easy. There will be days when your body aches, when your spirit feels weak, and the results you want seem far away. Those moments are tests. They are opportunities to prove to yourself how badly you want this. You must be willing to stay consistent even when no one is watching. That consistency builds momentum. Momentum builds results. Results build confidence. Working harder also means sharpening your focus. Effort without direction is wasted energy. When you commit to working harder than everyone else, you must know exactly what you're working toward. Set clear goals that ignite your passion and hold your attention. Break those goals into smaller tasks you can complete every day. Focus on what moves the needle forward and avoid distractions that steal your time and energy. Every hour you spend working toward your goals should feel like an investment in your future. This is not about mindless busy work. It's about being deliberate and strategic with your effort. Ask yourself daily, am I giving my best? Am I using my time wisely? Am I pushing beyond what's comfortable? If the answer is yes, you are building the foundation for success. There's power in small steps taken consistently over time. One extra hour of focused work, one more call made, one more page written, one more skill learned repeated day after day makes all the difference. The competition might get tired, distracted, or discouraged, but you keep moving forward. You build strength not just physically but mentally. Your confidence grows with each task completed and each goal reached. Understand that commitment to working harder is not just physical effort, it's mental toughness. It's the ability to silence the doubts inside your head and push forward anyway. It's the willingness to do what others won't do, to stay patient when progress seems slow, and to believe in yourself even when others don't. That belief fuels your motivation and keeps your spirit alive. Many people want success, but few are willing to pay the price. The price is time, energy, sacrifice, and persistence. When you commit to working harder than anyone else, you accept this price gladly, because you know the reward is worth it. You know the feeling of accomplishment that comes from knowing you gave everything you had. That feeling cannot be bought or borrowed. It can only be earned. There is something deeply satisfying about looking back and knowing you outworked every obstacle and every competitor. When challenges come, as they will, you meet them head on because you have prepared yourself through relentless effort. The harder you work, the luckier you get. Doors open because people recognize your dedication and drive. Opportunities come your way because you create them with your commitment. Do not wait for the perfect moment. Do not wait for conditions to be ideal. Commit to working harder today. Right now, even if you don't feel ready, start. The process of outworking everyone builds momentum that carries you forward. You learn, you adapt, you improve. Every failure becomes a lesson, every setback, a step forward. Remember, commitment is not a one-time decision, it is a daily practice. It requires waking up each morning with a hunger that won't be satisfied by shortcuts or easy ways out. It requires holding yourself accountable when no one else will. It requires a relentless focus on your vision and a willingness to sacrifice comfort for progress. The people who outwork everyone are not superhuman. They are ordinary people who refuse to give up. They make choices every day that others avoid. They choose work when others rest. They choose discipline when others slack. And they choose growth when others stay stagnant. That is how champions are made. Look around you. The world is full of distractions and excuses. Everyone wants a quick fix, a magic formula, or instant success. But you know better. You understand that true success is built on the back of hard work and unwavering commitment. That understanding is your power. Hold on to it tightly. There will be moments when the work feels endless, when the results seem invisible, and when your motivation wanes. Those are the moments that test your commitment. That is when you dig deeper, when you push harder, when you remind yourself why you started. Those moments define you far more than your achievements. Take control of your life by owning your effort. Make your work ethic your greatest asset. Train your mind to seek challenge rather than comfort. Let your actions every day be proof that you are willing to outwork anyone standing in your way. Working harder than anyone else means embracing sacrifice. It means putting in the hours when others are relaxing. It means sacrificing short-term pleasures for long-term success. It means putting in the extra mile because your goals deserve it. When you do this, you create a future others only dream about. The discipline to outwork everyone else creates habits that lead to success. It forms character that no hardship can break. It builds confidence that can move mountains. This discipline is a muscle. The more you use it, the stronger it becomes. And with strength comes freedom. You are capable of more than you know. You have untapped potential waiting to be unleashed. The only way to unlock it is to work harder every day, to commit yourself fully to your goals and never let up, to show the world that you are the one willing to do what others won't. This journey requires honesty. Be honest with yourself about the effort you put in. Track your progress and hold yourself accountable. Celebrate the small wins and learn from the failures. Each step forward is a victory that brings you closer to your dreams. No matter your background or current situation, working harder can change everything. It does not matter where you start. What matters is how much effort you give every day. Your commitment to outwork everyone else levels the playing field and then some. It makes your dreams real. Let this be your call to action. Decide right now to commit fully to working harder than anyone else. Let your work ethic speak louder than words. Let your results be the proof that you refuse to settle for less. Be the person who turns dreams into reality through relentless effort. You will face challenges. You will face moments of doubt. But you will also discover strength you never knew you had. The power to push beyond limits, the courage to keep going, and the pride of knowing you gave everything. That is what commitment to hard work creates. Start where you are. Use what you have. Do what you can. Every step you take with purpose moves you closer to success. Never stop learning, growing, and improving. The journey of outworking everyone else is a lifelong one, but it is also the most rewarding path you can take. Be the one who leads by example. Be the one who shows up when others quit. Be the one whose effort inspires those around them. Your commitment to working harder every day changes not only your life, but also the lives of those who see your determination. This is not just about work. It is about becoming the best version of yourself. It is about proving to yourself that you have what it takes. It is about creating a life you can be proud of. A life built on effort, discipline, and unwavering commitment. Your future is in your hands. Your success depends on what you do today, tomorrow, and every day after. Commit to working harder than anyone else and watch how your life transforms. The road is tough, but the destination is worth every step. You are stronger than your excuses. You are smarter than your doubts. You are capable of incredible things. But only if you commit fully to the hardest work you have ever done. That commitment separates those who dream from those who achieve. Make the decision now. Be the person who works harder every day. Show the world what you're made of. There is no better time than now to start. Your commitment will carry you further than you ever imagined. Keep pushing, keep striving, keep working harder than everyone else. Your effort today builds your success tomorrow. The choice is yours. Choose to outwork everyone. Choose to win. Number 2. Develop habits that build relentless and focused effort. You're not tired, you're just undisciplined. And deep down, you know that. The truth is, you don't need more motivation, you need stronger habits. You need habits that pull you forward when your feelings try to hold you back. You need habits that anchor your focus, build your drive, and make you relentless. Whether you feel like it or not, people think success is about working hard every once in a while. When you're in the mood, that's not how it works. That's not how greatness is built. If you want to separate yourself from the masses, you have to create a system that forces you to perform, even on your worst days. You can't rely on mood swings. You can't depend on how you feel. You have to build habits so strong that quitting isn't even an option. Relentless effort isn't a gift. It's a decision repeated until it becomes who you are. The people who win are not always more talented, but they've trained themselves to take action regardless of circumstances. They've trained their mind to ignore distractions, to reject excuses, and to act on their priorities, not their emotions. And that training doesn't happen by accident. It begins the moment you stop letting your days control you and start building habits that lock in your focus. You don't need to be perfect. You need to be consistent. You need habits that guide your energy toward the right things, that pull you back into alignment every time life tries to pull you off track. Start by owning your mornings. The way you begin the day determines everything that follows. If you wake up and reach for your phone, you've already given control to something outside of you. But when you start with discipline, with a small action that reminds your brain who's in charge, you start to change. A cold shower, a few minutes of silence, writing down your goals, moving your body. It doesn't matter what it is. As long as it builds clarity and intention, that's how you train your brain to obey. That's how you get stronger. Every time you show up on schedule, regardless of how you feel, you build discipline. And discipline doesn't care about motivation. Discipline carries you when motivation disappears. The people you admire, the ones who always seem to be ahead, they've built their success on rituals, on habits, not on talent, not on luck. If you're always starting and stopping, if you feel scattered and overwhelmed, it's not because you're broken, it's because you haven't built a rhythm. You haven't trained your body and mind to lock into effort mode. You need routines that reinforce your goals every single day, actions that are so automatic, you don't even have to think about them. Think about brushing your teeth. You don't debate it. You don't negotiate it. You just do it, because it's part of your system. You need your work ethic to feel the same way. You need your actions tied to identity. If you see yourself as disciplined, focused, and committed, you act like it, automatically. But that identity only grows when you prove it with action, over and over again. And the hardest part is the beginning. That first week, those early mornings, that first hour when your body wants comfort and your mind looks for escape. But when you push through that resistance, something powerful happens. You start to believe. You start to realize that effort is a choice, and that you're in control of it. Building relentless effort means removing the guesswork from your day. You shouldn't be waking up wondering what to do. You shouldn't be deciding if today's a good day to try hard. Your schedule should already be set. Your environment should already be optimized. Your tasks should be clear. That's how you eliminate friction. That's how you set yourself up to win before the day even begins. You don't rise to your goals. You fall to your systems. If your system is built on hope and emotion, you're going to collapse the moment life hits you. But if your system is built on daily, measurable effort, nothing can shake you. Because even when the world gets loud, you stay steady. You know your job. You do the work. Focused effort means saying no often. It means protecting your time like it's gold, because it is. You can't give it to distractions. You can't let other people's agendas interrupt your mission. You have to learn to shut out the noise, to build a bubble around your attention. When it's time to work, you go in deep. No multitasking, no notifications, just pure focus. That level of intensity doesn't happen by accident. It happens when you decide your dream is worth more than your comfort. It happens when you stop chasing quick wins and start building long-term strength. It happens when you realize that your habits today create the version of you that shows up tomorrow. There's something special about knowing that while others are making excuses, you're getting better. While others waste time scrolling, you're sharpening your skills. That's how confidence grows, not by talking, but by doing. Confidence comes from action. From knowing that no matter what happens, you've built yourself to be resilient, consistent, and unstoppable. And don't confuse busyness with effort. Anybody can stay busy, but focused effort is different. It's targeted. It's intentional. It's built around impact, not activity. If you spend all day reacting to everything, you'll end up drained with nothing to show for it. But if you structure your time around your highest priorities, and you execute them with full energy, you start gaining ground fast. You have to identify your peak hours, those times when your brain is sharpest, and protect them like your future depends on it. Because it does. Don't waste your best hours on things that don't move you forward. Don't let yourself get lost in low-value tasks. That's how average people live. You're here to rise above average. Every powerful habit you build is a message to yourself. I'm in control of my life. I decide where my energy goes. I decide how I show up. And the more you act in alignment with that belief, the stronger it becomes. That belief shapes your reality. But none of this works if you only commit when life is easy. The test of your habits is when everything feels hard, when you're stressed, when you're tired, when you're not seeing results. That's when it matters most. That's when the old version of you wants to crawl back into comfort, and the new version of you has to fight to keep moving forward. This is how transformation happens. Not in dramatic moments, but in small choices, repeated consistently. One more rep, one more call, one more hour of work, one more decision to show up when quitting feels easier. These are the bricks that build a strong life. And yes, it's hard. It's supposed to be. That's what makes it rare. That's what makes it worth it. Because anyone can work hard once, but the one who wins is the one who works hard every day. With no applause, no shortcuts, no audience, just pure, focused, relentless effort. This kind of discipline becomes your edge. While others rely on emotion, you rely on execution. While others break under pressure, you rise. You stay calm. You stay clear. You keep showing up. And eventually that habit becomes your identity. You become someone who doesn't stop, someone who doesn't lose focus, someone who doesn't break. And once you cross that threshold, everything changes. The world begins to respond to you differently. People see the change. They feel your presence. Because it's not about talking louder, it's about walking stronger. It's about becoming undeniable. And remember, your habits don't just shape your results, they shape your future. Your relationships, your health, your mindset. Every area of your life is either built or broken by the habits you keep. That's why this matters. Because you're not just building a routine, you're building a life you can be proud of. So don't wait for inspiration. Create it. Don't hope for discipline. Build it. Take control of your schedule. Track your effort. Get clear on your mission. Refuse to waste time. And when you feel like stopping, remind yourself who you're becoming. Every day is a vote. Every action is a signal. Every habit is a weapon. You're not like everyone else. You're not here to blend in. You're here to rise, to dominate, to leave no doubt. And when you do this, when you live this way, relentlessly, intentionally, consistently, you will not only change your life, you will change who you are. And that's the real win. Now get to work. The habits you build today will decide everything. Number 3. Push beyond comfort to earn every success fully. If your life feels stuck, it's because you've been too comfortable for too long. And comfort is where dreams go to die. You don't grow in comfort. You don't build strength by staying where it's easy. You don't earn respect by avoiding the hard path. Every success you want, every goal you've ever imagined, it's all sitting just outside your comfort zone, waiting for you to stop hiding and start fighting. Nothing great is ever handed to you. It's earned, and the cost is your discomfort. Most people want success without sacrifice. They want results without struggle. But life doesn't work like that. You don't get to win without bleeding for it. You don't get to rise without first crawling through the dirt. You don't get to transform until you're willing to face the parts of yourself that are weak, lazy, scared, and undisciplined. You have to confront your limits and push right through them. There's a version of you that's powerful, focused, relentless. But you'll never meet that version if you keep choosing what feels good over what moves you forward. You were not born to live soft. You were not created to settle. You are capable of far more than you've allowed yourself to believe. But you will only discover that truth when you do the one thing most people avoid. You have to suffer on purpose. There's no shortcut. There's no cheat code. The real work, the kind that changes you forever, is the work you do when everything inside you is begging you to stop. When you keep going, even though your mind is screaming for rest. When your body aches and your heart is tired, but you push anyway. That's where strength is built. That's where confidence is born. Not in comfort, but in conquest. Ask yourself this: when was the last time you did something that genuinely scared you? When was the last time you chased a goal that felt bigger than you? When did you last say no to your excuses and yes to your growth? If the answer is I don't remember, then that's your problem. You've been living in a loop, surviving, not thriving, and deep down you know it. Every time you avoid discomfort, you weaken your belief in yourself. Every time you run from difficulty, you reinforce the lie that you're not built for more. But every time you lean into pain, every time you do something hard, you prove to your brain that you're not here to hide. You're here to win. Comfort zones are silent killers. They don't hurt all at once. They suffocate you slowly. Day by day, they rob you of your ambition. They make you numb to your potential. And before you realize it, years have passed, and you're still the same. The same habits, the same patterns, the same regrets. That's not life. That's quiet failure. Success demands pain, not random suffering, but intentional struggle. The kind that shapes you, the kind that forces you to level up. Because success is not a reward, it's a reflection. It mirrors your effort. It reflects your willingness to go deeper, harder, longer than most people ever will. And if you want it, you have to earn it. Fully. You earn it when you get up early. Not because you want to, but because your vision matters more than sleep. You earn it when you do the extra reps, the extra hours, the extra effort that nobody sees. You earn it when you show up day after day, with no recognition, no praise, and no applause. Just the quiet knowing that you're building something unshakable inside of you. Most people want permission. They wait for a sign, for motivation, for the right moment. But the winners, the ones who actually change their lives, they don't wait. They create their own momentum. They wake up and act, even when they don't feel like it. Because they know discipline is more reliable than motivation, and pain is more honest than comfort. If you want to know what you're really made of, don't look at how you perform when everything is going well. Look at how you respond when things get hard, when the plan falls apart, when the weight feels too heavy. That's who you are, and the only way to become more is to do more, especially when it's difficult. You don't get to skip discomfort. It's the tuition you pay for progress, and the longer you avoid it, the more expensive it becomes. You lose time, you lose confidence, you lose momentum, and eventually, you lose yourself. The real danger isn't failure, it's comfort. Because comfort lies to you. It tells you that tomorrow will be easier, that someday you'll start, that you're doing enough already. But deep down, you know that's not true. You know you're capable of more. You feel it every time you scroll through your feed and see people winning, not because they're better than you, but because they made peace with the pain you keep avoiding. Pain is not the enemy, it's the portal. It's the bridge between who you are and who you want to be. You don't become mentally strong by reading about resilience. You become mentally strong by surviving situations that demand it. You don't build courage by talking about bravery. You build it by doing the thing you fear the most, again and again until fear loses its grip. You will never reach your full potential inside your comfort zone. You will never become great by staying safe. Greatness lives in the unknown. It lives in the effort you haven't yet dared to give. It lives in the pain you're still trying to avoid. And until you step into that space, you're living a fraction of your life. Some people will never understand this. They'll live their whole life trying to feel good, rather than doing good. They'll settle for just enough, when they were built for much more. But that doesn't have to be you. You still have time. You still have fight. You still have a chance to choose discomfort now, so you don't suffer regret later. Regret is the heaviest burden. It doesn't show up immediately. It waits, it grows quietly, until one day you look in the mirror and realize you let fear win. You let comfort steal your destiny, and no success can erase that kind of failure. But right now you have the power to change your story. You have the power to get uncomfortable on purpose. You have the power to push your limits and earn every inch of your success. You don't need approval. You don't need permission. You just need the courage to begin, and the strength to keep going when it gets hard. You will be tested. That's a guarantee. But those tests are not punishments. They're preparation. Every struggle sharpens you. Every failure teaches you. Every moment of pain builds the kind of character that no one can take from you. The grind won't be glamorous. There won't be fireworks or applause. But if you stay consistent, if you stay focused, if you show up even when your mind begs you to quit, you'll wake up one day and realize you've become unstoppable. That's what pushing past comfort gives you. It gives you freedom. It gives you confidence. It gives you a deep, unshakable belief in yourself. Because you didn't get here by accident. You earned every step. And that's what real success feels like. Not handed to you. Not luck. Not shortcuts. But victory built brick by brick, through every uncomfortable decision you made along the way. That's the kind of success that lasts. That's the kind of success that transforms you forever. So if you're feeling tired, if you're feeling stuck, if you're tempted to take the easy road again, don't stop giving yourself an out. Stop protecting your comfort and start protecting your purpose. You didn't come this far to stay the same. The discomfort you're avoiding is the exact thing that will unlock your next level. The path is not supposed to feel good. It's supposed to break you, and then remake you into something stronger. So lean into the pain, embrace the discomfort, and remind yourself every single day, comfort didn't bring you this far. It won't take you where you're going. Earn your success fully, not halfway, not occasionally, fully every day, every decision, every action. Because once you've earned it that way, nothing and no one can take it from you. Now get back out there and push. There's more in you, and it's time the world sees it. Number 4. Prioritize your goals above all distractions consistently. If your goals don't control your life, distractions will, because something always will, every single day. The world tries to pull you away from your purpose. It drowns you in noise. It throws temptations at you like candy. It feeds you shortcuts, drama, and dopamine. So you forget who you are and what you're building. And if you're not fully awake, fully locked in, fully committed, you will lose days, weeks, even years to things that never mattered. You've got goals that are screaming for your attention, but your phone gets it first. You've got dreams that demand your energy, but your habits drain it. You say you want more out of life, but you keep making time for everything except what will get you there. That's not ambition. That's self-sabotage in disguise. The harsh truth is this: success is not about talent. It's about attention. It's about how often you return to what truly matters, no matter how loud the world gets. You can't afford to live distracted anymore. Every moment spent chasing what doesn't move you forward is a moment stolen from your future. You have to decide what matters and then eliminate everything that doesn't. You will never build a meaningful life if you're addicted to meaningless things. Every notification, every scroll, every mindless escape, it all seems harmless, but it adds up. It creates a version of you that's reactive, not focused, drained, not driven, stuck, not rising. Think about it. How many times have you told yourself you'd start tomorrow? How many promises have you broken to your own potential? How often do you settle for entertainment when you should be building discipline? That version of you, the one with the excuses, the one that trades time for comfort, has to die, not someday, now. Because your goals are not going to wait for you. Life doesn't slow down until you're ready, it just keeps moving. And if you're not moving with intention, you're falling behind without even realizing it. One day you'll wake up and realize you've been busy for years, but never really made progress. That's the cost of distraction, wasted potential disguised as productivity. The difference between the people who make it and the people who never do, it's not talent, money, or luck, it's focus. Laser focus. The ability to say no to everything that doesn't align with your purpose. The ability to lock in on one thing for as long as it takes. The ability to live like your time is sacred, because it is. Look, this world doesn't care about your goals. It will tempt you with pleasure. It will bury you in comparison. It will offer you everything except what actually fulfills you. You have to be stronger than that. You have to be the one who says, I don't need that. I'm not here for distraction. I'm here for greatness. The truth is, focus is a war. A daily battle between the life you want and the distractions that want your attention. And you're either winning that battle or you're not. You're either waking up with clarity or you're waking up reacting. You're either making progress or making excuses. There is no middle ground. It starts with a decision, not a half-hearted wish. A decision that your future matters more than your comfort, that your time is more valuable than cheap entertainment, that your goals are not optional, they're your responsibility. You cannot keep giving your energy to people who don't inspire you. You cannot keep wasting hours on things that leave you feeling empty. You cannot keep numbing yourself with distractions and then wonder why your dreams feel so far away. That's the formula for regret. And the worst kind of pain is the pain of knowing you could have done more but didn't. There's another life waiting for you. A life where you wake up clear, not confused. A life where you build, not just consume. A life where you make real progress, not fake productivity. But that life only exists on the other side of focus. You won't find it in comfort. You won't find it in noise. You find it by getting serious, ruthless, obsessed with what matters. And yes, it's going to be lonely sometimes. While everyone else is partying, scrolling, wasting time, you'll be working. While they're caught in drama, you'll be caught in discipline. While they're distracted, you'll be building, and that's exactly why you'll win. Because consistency beats chaos. Commitment beats distraction. Hunger beats comfort. You want to be different? Act different. You want results that nobody else has? Then live in a way nobody else is willing to. Wake up before the distractions can find you. Cut off the noise. Schedule your time like your life depends on it. Because it does. And then show up every day. Not just when it's easy. Every single day. You're not too late. You're not behind. But you do need to move now. Because your future is being shaped in the background of your current choices. Every time you choose your goal over distraction, you're casting a vote for the person you want to become. And every time you choose distraction, you vote to stay stuck. It's that simple. So what's it going to be? Are you going to keep living like your time is unlimited? Or are you finally going to treat your minutes like they matter? This is your life. Not a rehearsal. Not a warm-up. You don't get to replay this day. You either use it to get closer to your dreams, or you let it slip through your fingers like all the others. You either master your focus, or your focus gets mastered by distractions that don't care about your growth. You are in control, but only if you take control. That means cutting out the people, habits, and environments that weaken you. That means saying no, even when it's uncomfortable. That means being brutally honest with yourself about what's helping you and what's holding you back. Your goal is not just something you work on when you feel motivated. It's something you build your life around. That's how winners think. That's how high performers live. They're not playing games with their time. They guard it. They protect their energy like it's gold, because they know that what they allow in determines what they become. Don't let distraction rob you of your best years. Don't let shallow habits cost you a meaningful life. Don't be the person who always starts strong, but never finishes. That version of you has had enough chances. It's time for something new, something disciplined, something powerful. You don't need perfect conditions. You don't need to feel ready. You need one thing: commitment. The kind that doesn't flinch when things get hard. The kind that stays locked in when everything around you tries to pull you off track. The kind that says, I will not waste another day. I will build the life I was meant to live. You want real success? Prioritize your goals above everything that doesn't serve them. Every call, every app, every distraction. Ask yourself, does this move me forward, or does this waste my time? And if it's not helping you grow, cut it. Period. It won't be easy. But nothing worth having is. The pain of discipline is always lighter than the pain of regret. You just have to choose which one you're willing to carry. If you're tired of feeling behind, if you're done making excuses, if you're ready to become the version of yourself you've always seen in your mind, then you need to stop letting distractions win. Today, not tomorrow. Today. Turn off the noise. Lock in. And build. Because while everyone else is scrolling, you'll be stacking wins. While they're wasting time, you'll be gaining clarity. While they're living on autopilot, you'll be living with purpose. That's the difference. That's how you separate yourself. Don't wait to feel ready. Don't wait for motivation. Just make the choice. Choose discipline. Choose focus. Choose the life that your future self will thank you for. Now go. Guard your time. Prioritize your goals. And don't let anything break your focus. Not today. Not ever again. Number 5. Show up early and stay late without excuses. The world doesn't reward those who wait. It remembers the ones who show up before anyone's watching and stay long after everyone else has left. When you decide to rise earlier than you have to and stay later than you need to, you separate yourself from the average mindset that's addicted to comfort and excuses. You send a signal to life, to your future, to the universe itself, that you're serious, that you're not here to play, that you're not waiting on motivation, opportunity, or validation. You're willing to put in the effort most won't, to earn results most never will. The truth is, everybody wants the success story, but very few are willing to live through the silent chapters where no one's clapping, no one's cheering, and it's just you, your goals, and your discipline. That's where champions are made. Not when the spotlight is on, but when it's just dark enough for most people to give up and walk away. That's where you keep going. That's where you show up early. That's where you stay late. Not because it's easy, because it's required. You have to stop negotiating with laziness. Stop entertaining the voice that says, you've done enough. You haven't. You know it. Deep down, you know that the life you want is going to take more than you've ever given. And if you want to have it, you can't move like everybody else. You can't sleep in like everybody else. You can't clock out mentally when things get tough. You have to stay in it. Mentally, emotionally, physically, with everything you've got. People love to ask, what's the secret? The secret is this: show up when you don't feel like it. Stay longer than you're comfortable. Be consistent when no one's watching. Outwork your distractions. Outlast your excuses. Outperform your past self every single day. That's the secret. It's not glamorous. It's not exciting, but it's real, and it works. You don't rise by luck. You rise by showing up with intention while others are still making excuses. You rise by keeping promises to yourself long after the mood you made them in has disappeared. You rise because you understand that effort over time builds a reputation, one you carry in how you think, how you move, how you lead. The greats didn't get there because they were lucky. They got there because they outlasted everyone else. While others chose comfort, they chose grit. While others looked for shortcuts, they mastered the fundamentals. While others gave 60%, they gave 110% when it mattered most. When the gym was empty, when the office was dark, when the sun wasn't even up yet, they were there, doing the work. No camera, no applause, just quiet, unshakable effort. The life you're after is not waiting in some magical moment down the line. It's hidden inside every early morning where you choose discipline over delay. It's buried in those late nights when your legs are tired, your mind is drained, and you still decide to give it one more hour. That's where the future you is being built. You're not always going to feel motivated. That's a myth. But what you can become is driven, unshakably driven. Motivated people do things when they feel like it. Driven people do it regardless. Driven people have a fire inside them that doesn't burn out just because the day got hard. They don't make room for excuses. They make progress anyway. And here's what most people miss. It's not just about putting in more hours. It's about what those hours do to your character. Waking up early and staying late teaches you that you're capable of more than you think. It reprograms your identity. You stop seeing yourself as someone who's trying and start moving like someone who executes. You begin to walk differently, talk differently. You become a person of action, not just words. That mindset bleeds into every part of your life. You stop wasting time. You stop tolerating low standards. You stop making room for average effort. You raise the bar. You set the tone. You become the one people look to, not the one who fades into the background. But none of that happens if you keep waiting for the perfect moment to begin. You can't keep waiting for the pressure to go away before you perform. Pressure is a privilege. It means something is on the line. It means you have an opportunity. And instead of running from it, you meet it head on. Early, fully, committed. There are people out there right now outworking you. Not because they're better, but because they decided to stop making excuses. They decided to get up even when it was hard. They decided to stay longer when they were tired. That's the difference. And it can be you, if you're willing to raise your standard. Every time you show up early, you're training your mind to lead. Every time you stay late, you're telling yourself that you're willing to go further than the crowd. That compounds, that stacks. And over time, that builds someone unstoppable. There's no such thing as overnight success. What looks like sudden success is usually years of showing up early, staying late, and working in silence. You don't just arrive, you earn your way in through thousands of uncelebrated choices that no one else saw, but you saw them. You made them. And that's what makes you different. You might not have all the resources. You might not have the connections. But if you have discipline, you're already dangerous. If you have consistency, you're already ahead. And if you're willing to outwork everyone around you, not just once, but over and over again, you'll rise faster than anyone expects. This is not just about hustle. It's about proving to yourself that you mean what you say, that you're not just someone who talks about dreams. You live like they're non-negotiable. That means you sacrifice the things that steal your focus. You turn your back on excuses. You get out of bed when it's hard. You dig deep when others quit. People will call you obsessed. Let them. People will say you're doing too much. Ignore them. Because those same people will one day ask you how you did it, how you made it look easy. And you'll know it wasn't easy. It was early mornings and late nights and a relentless refusal to settle. You're either building your future or you're letting your future slip away. There is no pause button on life. The time is going to pass either way. The only question is, will you use it to get ahead? Or will you waste it and wonder why nothing changes? Start acting like your goals are urgent. Start behaving like your vision matters. Stop moving like you have forever. You don't. Life moves fast, and regret moves even faster. You won't always feel like showing up, but show up anyway. You won't always want to stay longer, but stay anyway. That's the difference between the ones who get close and the ones who finish strong. You don't need perfect conditions. You don't need approval. You need grit. You need hunger. You need to burn the excuses and bury the comfort. And then you need to get up, lock in, and put in the hours that greatness demands. If you want results most people never get, you've got to do what most people never will. That starts with showing up early and staying late. No drama, no whining, just relentless execution. This is your edge. This is your opportunity. This is your standard now. Get up, get to work, and don't stop until your future feels your presence. Number 6, challenge yourself to improve a little every day. The person you dream of becoming is already inside you. But the only way to meet them is by improving just a little more every single day. No matter what. You don't have to leap tall buildings or conquer the world in a single day. That's the lie that breaks people. They think transformation must be dramatic, massive, all at once. But real change, it's subtle, it's quiet, it's done when no one is clapping. It's born from that tiny choice you make to be better than you were yesterday, even by 1%. This is the truth. No one tells you. The people who become unstoppable didn't wake up one day and have it all figured out. They just refused to settle. They challenged themselves every day to stretch a little further than their comfort allowed, not for attention, not for applause, but because they refused to let their life drift into mediocrity. And if you're watching this, there's a part of you that refuses to drift too. There's something inside you that wants more. You might be tired, you might be unsure, but deep down, you know this life wasn't meant to be lived passively. You weren't meant to go through the motions. You were meant to grow, to rise, to evolve. And you do that by waking up every day and asking yourself one question. How can I get better today? That question changes everything. It forces you to look in the mirror, to stop avoiding your potential. It makes you choose action over stagnation. And even when it's hard, even when you don't feel like it, you do something small, something meaningful, something that pushes you 1 inch closer to the person you said you wanted to become. You want to be stronger? Start with 10 push-ups. You want to be smarter? Read 10 pages. You want to lead? Speak up. You want discipline? Say no to 1 distraction. These aren't big wins. They're small steps. But small steps add up when you take them daily. Most people don't fail because they're incapable. They fail because they expect instant success. And when they don't get it, they give up. But the winners, they know the secret. They know progress doesn't always look exciting. It doesn't always feel rewarding. Sometimes it's invisible. But that doesn't mean it isn't working. Every repetition, every hour, every habit compounds. And when you look back months from now, you'll realize everything changed. Not because you made a giant leap, but because you never stopped taking steps. That's what separates the disciplined from the defeated. The disciplined ask themselves, what's one thing I can improve today? And they do it. Every single day. No breaks, no excuses. They're not chasing perfection. They're chasing growth. You have to train yourself to see progress in the smallest of victories. Did you show up? That counts. Did you try when you wanted to quit? That matters. Did you do the hard thing instead of the easy one? That's a win. Stack those moments. Own them. Celebrate them quietly, because those are the bricks that build an unshakable version of you. You don't have to become someone else. You don't need a new identity. You just need to outgrow the version of yourself that's okay with staying still. You don't need to be extraordinary today, but you do need to be better than yesterday. Most people underestimate how far they can go in a year and overestimate what they can do in a day. You're not here for instant gratification. You're not chasing likes, claps, or applause. You're building something deeper. Confidence. Confidence built on discipline, not delusion. Confidence that grows every time you keep a promise to yourself. Every time you improve just a little more. You have to treat every day like a new opportunity to sharpen your edge. Don't coast. Don't fall asleep at the wheel. Life moves fast. And if you don't take control of your growth, life will decide your future for you. That's a brutal truth. But it's also empowering because you have a say. You have a choice. You don't need to impress anyone. You don't need to prove your worth to the world. You need to become someone you respect. That happens when you do hard things consistently. When you do what others won't. When you decide your potential matters more than your comfort. And it doesn't matter how far behind you feel. It doesn't matter how many mistakes you've made. Today is new. Today is clean. Today is a chance. You don't need to fix everything. You just need to take one step. Maybe it's making your bed. Maybe it's sending that message you've been avoiding. Maybe it's choosing water instead of sugar. Maybe it's speaking with honesty instead of hiding. Whatever it is, do it. And once you've done that, do it again. Tomorrow. That's how you win. That's how you build momentum. That's how you create a version of yourself. You're proud to look in the mirror. You don't need motivation. You need clarity. Clarity that growth is your responsibility, not anyone else's. No one is coming to save you. No one is going to hand you transformation. It's on you. And that's the best news, because it means you're in control. The world is full of people waiting for motivation, waiting for luck, waiting for some breakthrough. But the winners, they don't wait. They work quietly, steadily, consistently, and eventually they surpass everyone who thought they had more talent, more potential, or more resources. Consistency beats intensity when intensity fades. 1% better each day beats 10% better once a month. Because daily growth rewires who you are. It sharpens your instincts. It builds resilience. It builds identity. Every time you choose growth over comfort, you chip away at the version of yourself that settles. And one day you'll look back and realize that the old you, the one who made excuses, who played small, who gave up early, that version is gone. Replaced by someone who gets things done, who doesn't flinch in the face of pressure, who keeps going when others stop. And that version isn't born overnight. It's built daily, brick by brick, with action, with challenge, with commitment. This is your blueprint. This is your system. This is how you win. Forget perfection. Forget motivation. Forget the hype. Show up. Improve something. Anything. Repeat. You don't rise by accident. You rise by deliberate growth, by choosing to evolve even when you don't feel like it, by reminding yourself that the gap between where you are and where you want to be closes one action at a time. So here's your challenge. Today, do one thing better than you did it yesterday. Push a little further. Speak a little clearer. Move a little faster. Focus a little deeper. Then do it again tomorrow. And the next day. And the day after that. Because one day that effort will change your life. One day those small improvements will erupt into something massive. You won't just be living differently. You'll be thinking differently, feeling differently, leading differently. And people will ask how you did it. And you'll smile, because you'll know it wasn't luck. It wasn't magic. It was just one small challenge. Repeated every single day. You don't need to wait for a new year. You don't need permission. You don't need more time. All you need is a decision to start, a decision to grow, a decision to demand more from yourself. Start now. Start small, but start. Your future self is waiting, and every little improvement brings you closer. Number 7. Take full responsibility for your results, without blame. You will never take full control of your life until you stop blaming anything or anyone for where you are right now. That's the truth. Most people spend their entire lives avoiding. They point fingers, they tell stories. They build narratives that make them feel better about their lack of progress. It's easier to blame the world than to face the mirror. But as long as you keep shifting responsibility, you stay powerless. You stay stuck. You stay small. You want to change your life? Then own it. Own the good. Own the bad. Own the wins, the failures, the regrets, the missed chances, the broken promises. You own all of it. Because when you do, you finally step into your power. You finally stop waiting for something to change. And you start becoming the person who changes things. Nobody is coming to rescue you. Nobody is going to hand you a better future. And that's not bad news. That's the most empowering truth you'll ever hear. Because if it's on you, then you don't need to wait. You don't need permission. You don't need better luck. You just need to decide that from this day forward, you are done blaming, and you are ready to build. Your life is your responsibility. The results you're getting or not getting are not about your past, your parents, your boss, the economy, or anyone else. They're about the actions you're choosing or avoiding. They're about the standards you're accepting. They're about the excuses you're still buying into. And once you understand that, you realize if you created your current situation, you can also create a new one. But that only happens when you take full ownership. Not partial, not convenient, full. That means no more excuses for why you're not further ahead. No more blaming your lack of time, your circumstances, your relationships, your childhood. Life didn't stop you. You stopped yourself. Maybe out of fear. Maybe out of laziness. Maybe out of insecurity. It doesn't matter. What matters is you see it now. And you stop pretending you're a victim of your own life. Blame is easy. Responsibility is hard. Blame makes you feel temporarily safe, but it keeps you stuck. Responsibility feels heavy at first, but it leads to freedom. You can't fix what you won't own. And if you won't admit your role in your situation, then you'll keep repeating the same patterns, year after year, calling it fate. But you know better now. You know that if you keep blaming, you stay blind. And people who are blind to their responsibility are also blind to their potential. So take a hard look at your life. Where are you not showing up the way you should? Where are you cutting corners? Where are you letting your emotions run your decisions? Where are you waiting for something to change instead of making it happen? If your body is out of shape, own that. If your money is a mess, own that. If your relationships are strained, own that. If your time is being wasted, own that. Not with shame, not with guilt, with clarity. Because when you accept where you are, you gain the power to change where you go. Every single day, you're writing the story of your life. And if the results don't match the vision you have in your head, don't revise the vision. Revise the author. That author is you. You are not your past. You are not your pain. You are not your excuses. You are your choices. And from this moment forward, you can make better ones, stronger ones, clearer ones. But only if you drop the blame. Stop saying it's too late. It's not. Stop saying it's too hard. It's supposed to be. Stop saying it's not fair. It never was. Life doesn't hand out rewards based on fairness. It rewards ownership. It rewards discipline. It rewards those who take responsibility without complaint. You can't control what happens to you, but you can always control how you respond. And your response shapes your reality. People with power don't avoid responsibility. They chase it. They run toward it. Because they know that responsibility is the gateway to change. It's the foundation of growth. It's the soil where greatness is planted. If you want a better outcome, then raise your standards. Raise your habits. Raise your sense of personal accountability. Most people have low standards for themselves and then wonder why their life feels small. But you're different. You know that if you want a bigger life, you have to become someone who demands more of yourself every single day. Nobody gets to the top by blaming their way there. They get there by saying, if it's going to happen, it's up to me. They take control of their attitude, their effort, their focus, their decisions, and they stop letting outside forces dictate their destiny. You can do the same, but it starts with brutal honesty. What's the truth you've been avoiding? What's the excuse you've been hiding behind? What's the pattern you keep repeating that you refuse to change? When you expose the lie, you break its power. When you own the problem, you unlock the solution. You become the kind of person who doesn't just react to life, you create it. And yes, it's hard. Yes, it's uncomfortable. But that's the cost of freedom, the cost of growth, the cost of transformation. And it's a price worth paying, because on the other side of that pain is the life you actually want. The world doesn't owe you anything. Your past doesn't entitle you to a better future. Your story doesn't excuse your stagnation. If you want to win, you have to earn it. You have to build it. One choice at a time, one action at a time, one standard at a time. You already know what needs to be done. You don't need more information. You need more ownership. You need to look at your life and say, every part of this, good or bad, is mine. And that means I can fix it. I can change it. I can improve it. When you think like that, nothing can stop you. Because you stop waiting. You stop wishing. And you start working. You stop complaining about what you can't control and start crushing what you can. That's how winners think. That's how leaders rise. That's how legacies are built. So ask yourself right now, are you blaming or are you building? Are you complaining or are you creating? Are you avoiding or are you owning? The answers to those questions determine your future. You don't need sympathy. You need responsibility. You don't need to be rescued. You need to be reminded that you are not powerless. You are simply one decision away from a better life. Take that responsibility and run with it. Don't apologize for wanting more. Don't wait for the world to give you permission. Just start, right now, where you are, with what you have. Because once you stop blaming, you start building momentum. And that momentum, that's how you become unstoppable. No more pointing fingers. No more hiding. No more waiting. This is your life, your story, your moment. Take it, own it, and write the next chapter with the fire of someone who refuses to be a victim another day. Your future is not built on blame. It's built on bold responsibility. And it starts the second you stop looking for someone else to fix it and decide that person is you. Number 8. Fight through setbacks with determination and resilience. Some days, life will hit you so hard, it'll make you question everything you've ever believed about yourself. And it's in those moments that your real strength is revealed. Setbacks aren't just obstacles, they're tests. Brutal, painful, necessary tests that life uses to measure how serious you are about your dreams. Anyone can move forward when things are easy. Anyone can stay motivated when the path is smooth. But when the road disappears beneath your feet, when everything you've built starts to fall apart, when all your plans shatter in front of you, that's when your character is exposed. That's when your fight is tested. That's when you either fall apart or rise up. The people you admire, the ones who made it, they weren't lucky. They were resilient. They were the ones who refused to quit when everything inside them screamed to give up. They kept showing up when the odds were stacked against them. They kept pushing through pain, confusion, rejection, and fear because they knew something you're about to understand deeply. Pain is temporary, but quitting makes it permanent. You weren't made to break. You weren't built to surrender. You were made to endure, to rise, to outlast. That fire inside you, the one that refuses to go out no matter how hard life blows against it, that's your weapon. That's your edge. That's the part of you that setbacks can't destroy. Because here's the truth. The setbacks you're going through aren't the end of your story. They're the chapter that makes the ending worth reading. They're the part that will one day become the proof of your strength. You just have to keep fighting. Even when your body is tired, even when your mind is screaming for relief, even when the voices around you tell you to quit, you fight, you push, you stand up and go again. There's nothing noble about staying down. There's no reward for giving up. You weren't designed for defeat. You were designed to adapt, to evolve, to bounce back stronger than before. The world is full of people who stop trying. Don't join them. Be the one who refused to quit. Be the one who used every setback as fuel. Be the one who looked failure in the face and said, "You're not going to break me." This isn't just about motivation. It's about survival. It's about building a mindset so strong that no circumstance can crush it. Resilience isn't born in comfort. It's forged in struggle. It's built in the moments when you've got nothing left, but you still find a way to move forward. 1 inch, 1 breath, 1 decision at a time. You have to stop waiting for things to get easier. You have to stop expecting life to make it convenient for you to win. That moment may never come. So what do? You show up anyway. You fight anyway. You give your best when you feel your worst. You make progress even when everything around you is pulling you backward. Do you know what real power looks like? It looks like getting knocked down 5 times and standing up 6. It looks like losing everything and still choosing to rebuild. It looks like waking up in the dark and walking anyway because the light isn't gone, it's just waiting for you to keep going. Every time you face a setback, you're being offered a decision: stay stuck or grow. The setback is the invitation. Your response is the transformation. No one gets stronger by avoiding the storm. You get stronger by walking through it with your head high, your heart steady, and your mind focused on what's next, not what's lost. Yes, it hurts. Yes, it's hard. But your ability to endure that pain is the very thing that will make you unstoppable. Don't let a temporary defeat rob you of a permanent future. Don't let one moment of failure define the rest of your journey. You are not your worst day. You are the warrior who survived it. The world is filled with broken dreams. Don't let yours be one of them. Most people stop because they expect progress to be linear. They think success should come quickly. But the truth is, the path to greatness is jagged, unpredictable, and often cruel. That's why it belongs to the few who are willing to suffer through the chaos and still keep their eyes locked on the outcome they believe in. Every setback you've gone through is shaping you. Every disappointment is carving strength into your soul. Every closed door is redirecting you to something better. If you don't give up before you find it, you've already come this far. Don't waste the pain. Don't waste the lessons. Use them. Let them make you relentless. You were made for more, not because life owes you anything, but because you've got the grit to fight for it. Because even when life crushes your plans, it can't touch your spirit unless you let it. And you won't let it. You'll rise, you'll heal. You'll keep moving through the fire with the kind of calm that only people who've been through hell can carry. No one is coming to fix your situation. No one is going to hand you your dreams. But you've got something far more valuable than luck. You've got fight. You've got that voice inside that says, get back up. You've got that willpower that refuses to be silenced by pain. You've got that heart that won't stop beating for what matters, no matter how many times it's been bruised. When the world tells you it's over, you tell the world, watch me. When everything feels like it's falling apart, that's your cue to build something greater. When the storm comes, you don't run. You anchor deeper. You lock in. You plant your feet. You decide that no matter what life throws at you, you will not bend. You will not break. This is your defining moment. Not when things are easy, but when things are hard. Not when you're comfortable, but when you're on the edge. Right now, when everything feels heavy and hopeless, that's when the future you is being built. You don't need to know how the story ends. You just need to keep writing it. Keep turning the pages. Keep showing life that no matter how many times it knocks you down, it will never take your will to keep going. This is how legends are made. This is how ordinary people become extraordinary. Not by avoiding pain, but by enduring it. Not by hiding from failure, but by walking through it. Not by waiting for the perfect moment, but by showing up in the middle of the storm and saying, I'm still here. So don't give up. Don't slow down. Don't let one bad day convince you that you're not making progress. You are. Every step, every breath, every time you keep going when it would be easier to quit, you're becoming more. And when you finally reach that place you've been fighting for, when you look back on everything it took to get there, you won't feel regret. You'll feel pride. You'll feel gratitude. You'll understand that the fight was always part of the reward. You want strength? Then earn it. You want resilience? Then suffer for it. You want a story that inspires the world? Then be the one who never stopped turning the page. Even when the words got messy and the chapters got dark. This is your time. This is your climb. And every setback you face is just another chance to prove that nothing can stop a heart that refuses to surrender. Now go. Fight. Build. Rise. Make the pain count. Make the scars beautiful. Make your life a masterpiece of resilience. Written in sweat, carved in fire, and driven by the kind of determination that nothing, not even the worst day of your life, can destroy. Number 9. Track your progress to keep your work honest. You will never know how far you've truly come if you never stop to measure where you started. And if you're not tracking your progress, you're not being honest with yourself. Most people stay stuck, not because they lack talent or ambition, but because they never take a real hard look at their own actions. They float through their goals hoping that something changes, praying for a breakthrough, chasing motivation that never lasts. But the difference between those who achieve and those who only dream lies in the ability to track, review, and adjust. It's in the discipline of measuring what matters. Because without tracking your steps, your days blur together. Your effort becomes a story you tell yourself. One that may not be true. You can convince yourself you're doing the work when you're not. You can believe you're making progress when you're actually standing still. You can trick your mind into thinking you're growing, even while you're repeating the same habits, making the same choices, avoiding the same discomfort. And the only way to break that illusion is to get brutally honest, to record what you've done, to face the facts, to put your results on paper and ask yourself, is this who I said I was going to be? It's not enough to have goals. Anyone can dream. What matters is your ability to turn that dream into action and that action into consistent momentum, and you can't build momentum in the dark. You need clarity. You need evidence. You need daily proof that you're closing the gap between who you are and who you want to become. That's what tracking gives you. It gives you truth. It removes the fog. It exposes the lies you've been telling yourself about your discipline, your routine, your priorities. When you start tracking, something changes. You stop operating based on feelings and start operating based on facts. You no longer say, "I think I did well this week," because you know whether you did or not. You see it. You feel the weight of what you chose to do and what you didn't. You hold yourself accountable because now there's a record. Now there's a mirror reflecting your habits back to you. No more guessing. No more assuming. Just truth. And yes, the truth can be uncomfortable. But discomfort is the beginning of change. When you stare at the numbers and realize you've been slacking, that's your wake-up call. When you see that you've only taken 3 real actions toward your goal in a week, that's your signal to shift. When you compare your goals to your behavior and they don't match, you don't get to lie to yourself anymore. You get to fix it. You get to become better. But only if you're willing to look. Some people will go their whole lives avoiding this. They'll stay busy. They'll chase distractions. They'll talk about growth without ever measuring it. Don't become one of them. Don't build a fantasy in your head and call it progress. Build results in the real world and measure every inch of it. That's how winners are made. Not through hype, not through hope, but through relentless self-honesty. There's nothing glamorous about tracking your effort. No one will applaud you for writing down your goals every night, or logging your workouts or reviewing your progress each week. But that's where the power lives, in the small silent moments when you choose structure over chaos, when you choose order over emotional impulse, when you choose to face yourself fully and honestly, because you refuse to stay the same. Success is not an accident. It's built. It's tracked. It's managed. You need to know what's working and what's wasting your time. You need to know where you're consistent and where you're falling off. And once you know, you need to adjust. That's how growth happens. Not through random effort, but through measured, intentional execution. You don't get points for trying. You don't get results from half-hearted effort. And you definitely don't become your best self by lying to yourself about what you're actually doing. The scoreboard doesn't care about your intentions. It reflects your reality. And if you want to change that reality, you start by tracking everything that matters. Your habits, your effort, your mindset, your time. You want to know why so many people never improve. It's not because they're not working hard. It's because they're working blindly. They're not watching the numbers. They're not adjusting their strategies. They're not aware of the patterns holding them back. But you will be. Because once you commit to tracking your journey, you step into a level of awareness that forces growth. You're no longer operating in theory. You're operating in reality. You don't need to be perfect. You just need to be real. You don't need to do everything at once. You just need to start with one thing and track it ruthlessly. And from there, the awareness expands. The discipline deepens. The changes begin to stick. Because now your growth has a structure. It has a path. It has a pulse you can measure and build from. The mind loves comfort. It loves to exaggerate the good and minimize the bad. It loves to protect you from the harsh truth. But tracking slices through all that noise. It strips away the emotion. It gives you raw, clean data about who you are and how you move. And once you have that, you can become unstoppable. Because now you're leading yourself with clarity, not just motivation. What gets tracked gets improved. It's a universal law. You cannot change what you don't observe. You cannot elevate what you don't measure. If your finances are a mess, start tracking every dollar. If your fitness is falling apart, start tracking every meal, every workout. If your time disappears every day and you don't know where it goes, track every hour and find out. The moment you start watching, everything begins to shift. Not because it's magic, but because awareness changes behavior. No one is watching you. No one is coming to hold you accountable. But that doesn't mean you don't need it. That doesn't mean it doesn't matter. You can live a life full of potential and still never reach any of it if you refuse to be honest with your effort. And tracking is your way out. It's your silent, powerful, relentless accountability system. It's the scoreboard that keeps you aligned. It's the mirror that doesn't lie. Stop telling yourself you're trying and start proving it. Stop hoping for growth and start measuring it. You will become what you track. You will become what you repeatedly monitor and refine. And once that becomes your standard, you'll start to separate yourself from the masses. You'll start to see the difference between motion and progress, between hustle and effectiveness, between dreaming and doing. This is your life. You don't get a second draft. You either track it and improve, or you ignore it and repeat. And the time will pass either way. Don't let it pass in blindness. Don't let it pass in self-deception. Own your journey. Monitor your effort. Adjust your behavior. And most importantly, hold yourself to the standard of someone who is truly serious about becoming more. Because if you're not measuring, you're guessing. If you're not reflecting, you're forgetting. If you're not tracking, you're not growing. And if you're not growing, you're dying. So right now, decide that you will no longer move through life without a compass. Decide that you will no longer let your work go unmeasured, your habits go unchecked, your goals go unlived. You deserve more, but you have to earn more. And that starts with being ruthlessly honest about how you're showing up every single day. Start today. Track something. One thing. Write it down. Review it tomorrow. Keep it going for a week, then a month, then a year. And watch what happens. Watch how you begin to sharpen. Watch how you begin to grow. Watch how your excuses disappear and your progress accelerates. Because now you're no longer hoping. You're building. You're refining. You're leading yourself. And that is the highest form of discipline there is. Track your journey. Master your process. Build your life. The time for guessing is over. It's time to keep your work honest and build something real. Number 10. Surround yourself with people who demand your best. If you are the strongest person in every room you enter, you're in the wrong rooms and you're wasting your potential. There is a deep, invisible force shaping your future every single day. And it's not your goals. It's not your dreams. It's not even your work ethic. It's your environment. The people you surround yourself with are either calling you forward or pulling you down. They're either stretching your mind or feeding your excuses. They're either demanding your best or accepting your worst. And if you don't deliberately build a circle that elevates you, life will trap you in a cycle that diminishes you. You've got to stop pretending that influence isn't real. Every conversation you have, every opinion you hear, every attitude you allow into your space, it's shaping how you think, how you act, and what you tolerate. You are being sculpted every day by the expectations of the people closest to you. The question is, are those expectations sharpening you or softening you? Most people settle for comfort over challenge. They spend their lives around people who never call them out, who never question their effort, who never push them to rise above mediocrity, and the danger is subtle. It's not dramatic. It's not loud. It shows up in small ways, when they laugh off your goals, when they normalize excuses, when they nod approvingly at your half effort. And before you know it, you begin to adopt their standards without even realizing it. You begin to lower your intensity just to fit in. You can't afford that. Not if you're serious about becoming someone exceptional. You need people in your life who refuse to let you coast. People who see through your excuses. People who challenge your thinking. People who demand that you show up as the best version of yourself, not just when it's convenient, but every single day. And those kinds of people are rare. They're not always easy to be around. They're intense. They're relentless. But they make you better. Think about the most powerful growth you've ever experienced. It probably came from pressure, from being around someone who expected more from you than you did, someone who didn't care about your comfort, someone who refused to let you stay small. That's the kind of energy you need to surround yourself with. Not fans, not cheerleaders, warriors, builders, mentors, people whose presence forces you to level up just to stand beside them. The truth is, it's not just about cutting out toxic people. That's obvious. What's less obvious, but far more dangerous, is surrounding yourself with people who are simply fine. They're not negative, they're not toxic, but they're not pushing themselves either. They're not chasing growth, they're not hungry. They're content to exist in the middle, and if you stay around that energy long enough, it will become your normal. Their average will become your ceiling. But when you put yourself in rooms where excellence is the standard, everything changes. Suddenly your old habits feel weak. Your old excuses sound ridiculous. Your old pace feels slow. That's the power of proximity. Greatness is contagious. When you see someone you know taking massive action, you start to believe you can too. When you hear someone talk with absolute conviction, your doubts begin to dissolve. When you're around people who live with discipline, vision, and purpose, you rise. Sometimes without even trying. And that's exactly what you need. You need to be in rooms that intimidate you, conversations that stretch you, relationships that hold you to a higher standard, because that's where your real potential is forced out. Not in isolation, not in comfort, but in environments where growth is non-negotiable. You want to change your life? Start by changing your circle. Audit every person you give access to your mind. Ask yourself, are they sharpening me or softening me? Are they calling me to rise or giving me permission to relax? Are they helping me grow or keeping me stuck? Be ruthless about this, because your future is being shaped by the people you listen to. And don't wait to find the perfect circle. Start building it. Seek out mentors who challenge you. Find friends who are committed to growth. Connect with people who are doing what you want to do at a higher level. And when you find them, don't try to impress them. Learn from them. Serve them. Stay close. Absorb their mindset. Let their standards infect your system. Sometimes being around the right person for 5 minutes can teach you more than reading 100 books. That's the power of alignment. When your environment is wired for growth, success stops being something you chase and starts being something you attract. Because you're not walking the path alone. You're being pulled forward by the force of shared ambition. But make no mistake, this isn't easy. High standards will expose your weaknesses. They'll force you to grow faster than you're comfortable with. They'll demand discipline, honesty, humility. They'll reveal the parts of you that still want to play small. And that's the point. Growth doesn't come from staying safe. It comes from being surrounded by people who don't accept your limitations. People who reflect back to you the greatness you've been avoiding. If you're the only person in your circle who's serious about evolving, you're already behind. You need teammates. You need competitors. You need allies in the fight for your future. People who don't just inspire you but challenge you. That's what separates those who rise from those who remain. You can read all the books, you can watch all the videos, but if your environment doesn't demand your best, you'll keep settling for less. You'll drift. You'll lose urgency. You'll start believing that you have more time than you really do. But when you surround yourself with people who are building, people who are improving, people who are living with purpose, you remember what's at stake. You stay sharp. You stay focused. You stay honest. This is your life. And you only get one. Don't waste it trying to fit in with people who are afraid to grow. Don't shrink to match the energy around you. Find the people whose energy stretches you. Find the people who challenge your thinking, expose your blind spots, and hold you to your potential. And when you do, stay close. Protect those relationships. Nurture them. Because they are more valuable than anything else you'll build. Greatness is not a solo game. It's built in community. It's forged through collaboration. It's accelerated by accountability. So go find your circle. And if it doesn't exist, create it. Be the one who raises the standard. Be the one who demands more. Be the one who shows others what's possible. And here's the truth. Most people won't tell you. Not everyone will come with you. When you raise your standard, you will lose people. When you commit to excellence, you will outgrow certain relationships. That's not cruelty. That's growth. You weren't meant to carry everyone with you. You were meant to become who you were born to be. And that path is not for the weak. It's for the few who are willing to choose pressure over comfort, truth over convenience, and growth over popularity. You will be misunderstood. You will be judged. You will be called too much by people who are living too little. Let them talk. Let them stay comfortable. That's their choice. But you have work to do. A life to build, a standard to raise. And that starts with the company you keep. So take this seriously. Audit your circle. Raise your expectations. Step into rooms where you're the least experienced, the least skilled, the least accomplished. Because in those rooms you'll grow the most. You'll stretch. You'll evolve. You'll discover new levels of yourself. And when you do, you'll never go back to playing small again. This is your moment. Choose your environment like your life depends on it, because it does. Surround yourself with people who expect more, who push you harder, who force you to face your potential, even when you want to hide from it. That's how you win. That's how you transform. That's how you become someone the world can't ignore. So if you're ready, if you're truly ready, go find your tribe. Go build your circle. Go stand beside the people who live with intensity and purpose and heart, because that's where your best self is waiting. And the sooner you step into that energy, the sooner your life will begin to reflect the greatness that's been hiding inside you all along.